Hello, first graders. Welcome back to your phonics lesson. As you can see, I have my paper left on the side that I didn't do left over from last week. Hopefully you have this paper too, so you're not wasting paper. Making sure that we are writing on this special paper that has the dotted lines. You should have it in your brown bag. You are not writing on a whiteboard or in a spiral notebook anymore. You have your special paper with the dotted lines. So I folded this in half. This should be just enough lines to do phonics for today. So the first sound that we are working on today is ooh, Say it with me. Ooh, Go ahead and write it. Ooh, Starting at 2 o'clock, I go around the clock, back up to 2. Nice big clock letter. 2 o'clock. Around the clock, back up to 2. That's my ooh, sound. Double checking that they're touching that dotted line and that bottom line. Finger space, ooh, And you know what? That one is not my favorite. It's not quite touching the dotted line, and it's even hanging down a little bit. No big deal. I'm just going to cross it off. Ooh, 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 I think I can fit one more here. I don't want to squeeze it. Ooh, All right, if you are not at the end of the line, go ahead and push pause and go ahead and finish up. The next sound is A. Say it with me. A. You should be saying, which one? And you would be right. Use the A that is used at the end of a word. Which A is used at the end of a word? Go ahead and write what you think. It is A, clock letter, up, tiny tent, Y. A, Y is used at the end of a word or syllable. Making sure we're starting at 2 o'clock, around the clock, up to 2, pulling straight down. I should have a tiny little tent. And my Y starts at the dotted line. Pull down to the baseline, pick up my pencil, dotted line through the baseline and down to that next line. A-Y says A. A-Y says A. A-Y says A. If you are not at the end of the line yet, don't worry. Go ahead and push pause and finish up. My next sound is A. Say it with me. A. And this is the one that is not used at the end of a word. This is the one that comes in the middle. Go ahead and write it. A. That comes in the middle. It is my A. I. A-I. So, starting at 2 o'clock, around the clock, up to 2, pulling straight down. And my I starts at the dotted line, pull straight down, and a tiny dot. Finger space, A. Finger space, A. Finger space, A. And remember, this one comes in the middle of a word or syllable, not at the end. Go ahead and push pause if you are not at the end of the line yet. If you are at the end of the line, our next sound is ed, d, t. Say it with me. Ed, d, t. Go ahead and write it. Ed, d, t. That should be your ED. So pulling straight across, up and around the clock, stopping at 4 o'clock, making sure there's a point on your E. Starting at 2 o'clock, around the clock, up to the top line, pull straight down to the baseline in a tiny little tent. And we say ed, d, t. 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 All right, my friends, if you are not to the end of the line yet, go ahead and push pause. Our next sound is one of our sounds that has our E sound in it. So this one, the first sound is E, then we have A. Say it with me. A. Go ahead and write it. A. What letters say A? That is my A. A. So I have straight across, up and around the clock, stop at 4 o'clock, making sure there's a point. A starts at 2 o'clock, around the clock, up to 2, pull straight down with a tiny tent. And I say E. E. Go ahead and pause the video if you are not at the end of the line and finish up. My next sound is E-I. Say it with me. E-I. This is our new one, so let's do it together. The two letters that say E and I are an I-E. Remember, they're like in backwards. I-E says E-I. Making sure my I touches the dotted line and the baseline with a tiny dot. My E goes straight across, around the clock, stopping at 4 o'clock. You should be good at your E's now. This is the third time that we've had an E today. E-I is really I-E. That's not confusing at all, right? I-E says E-I. So it says E first, and then it'll say I. If you are not at the end of the line yet, no worries. Go ahead and push pause. Our next sound is, and it's actually our last sound, is the sound E. That's the only sound it makes is E. That is our E. The double E's only say one sound, E. So anytime you see E, it will say E. So we have E. Say it as you go. You should have the E's down by now. This is the fourth time we've done them today. E. Oh, goodness. I cannot end on that E. He's hanging down. Let me fix him. E. All right. Go ahead and finish that line. If you are not done, go ahead and push pause. No big deal. We're going to write a couple of words today that have something called an open syllable. Sometimes a vowel can say its name when he's by himself, such as in the word be. I would like to be an astronaut. So fist up, we're going to write the word be. B-E. Okay, so we have B-E. And this E doesn't have any other letters behind it. So sometimes we call that an open syllable and he says his name. E. So B-E. Let's write it. B-E. E, and it's one letter, and he says his name, B. And I'm going to write a 2 over here because normally an E would say but because he's an open syllable by himself, he says E, which is his second sound, B. Let's write a rhyming word. Remember, rhyming words have the same ending. Well, if this ending is an E, then I bet the next one will be an E too. This is the word be. Now let's write the word we. We love school. We, fist up. W-E. So we have W and we have E, another open syllable where the vowel says his name because it's right at the end. W-E. Let's write that together. Remember my W, all my points. These points touch the dotted line. Those points touch the bottom line. W, E. And I'm going to put a 2 over this one too because it's the second sound of E. These are rhyming words. Be, we. They have the same ending and the same sounds. All right, my friends, and these are both actually some of your spelling words. Hopefully you will be practicing those this week. All right, my friends, I will see you for phonics tomorrow. Nice job.